Hi, everyone. I'm Nandi, and you're watching Backspace, a show where I talk about the latest in TV, film, and books. In today's show, we are going to talk about some amazing news that AMC just dropped. Queen of the Damned is coming. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the latest news about the Odyssey, about Black Panther, and the amazing Moonlight is having its 10-year anniversary. So stick with me, bear with me also in this first episode, and yay, thank you for watching. If you're a fan of the show, you probably anticipated this. We have been waiting to hear the announcement and make things official. But yes, AMC just announced that season 4 is coming. It's going to be Queen of the Damned, and it's going to be about the amazing, the extraordinary Akasha. I'm so excited to hear this because A, we just need more representation in TV shows these days. She's going to be played by the beautiful Sheila Atim, who is an extraordinary actress. And yeah, I'm excited to see how they depict Akasha in this because you may have heard that the Vampire Lestat is getting some, let's just say, tough feedback from their fans. Just about the kind of format of the show compared to Interview with the Vampire. Some fans are saying that season 3, the Vampire Lestat, came off as maybe a tad bit gimmicky. I maybe am one of the fans who said that because some of the feedback that we got was also that the language in season 3 was sometimes anti-Black. Like when they brought back Claudia, for example, she comes back and she's like, she's furious and rightfully so. I mean, Louis literally ditched her for Lestat, ditched her for Armand, and she's furious. But she also says things like, you're nappy headed something, or like, just using this language that, yes, there is a lot of texturism in our community, but also Claudia used to wear her natural hair all the time. And when they were in Paris, I felt like they were very liberated, like Claudia, Louis, and part of the appeal of Paris was that it wasn't as racist as the US at the time. You can see the characters really bloom and able to explore different facets of themselves outside of race. So Louis becomes a photographer and Claudia explores theater. You can see that they're more liberated versions of themselves, and that's where we leave Claudia. So it didn't really make as much sense to me that she would come back now all of a sudden more suppressed and saying all these things about Blackness. And yeah, I think I'm in the camp that we do need to make sure that we have more Black writers in the show. And I think it opens up a larger conversation that I would love to hear from you guys about what is the role of the show in our lives, and particularly for marginalized audiences. Is it pure escapism, or are we using it as a vehicle to talk about race in America through this lens of sci-fi or Afrofuturism or whatever you want to call it? What really hooked me in episode 1 is when Lestat tells Louis how you must choke on your sorrow, what rage you must feel by being a Black man in this country. And then the way he convinces Louis to agree to becoming a vampire is by telling him about this dark gift. And then Louis is even able to do the craziest shit. Like, do you remember when the iconic meme where he pulls up the colored people only sign? And he's like, he's only able to do that because he's a vampire. And I think that's a lot of the appeal for Black audiences. Like, you're finally seeing this sci-fi in which Black people, yes, you have to live amongst your oppressors. But if you're a vampire, you know that you have this secret hidden power that's stronger than all of them combined. So I think that's part of the appeal. I would urge the writers of Queen of the Damned not to alienate marginalized audiences for the sake of shock value or, half-hearted attempts at addressing race. Like, try to keep the escapism alive, acknowledge that Akasha is a Black woman, but also we already know that we're oppressed. So you don't need to poke at that or like make it the whole theme of the show. Like, and she's also a vampire. She's Queen of the Damned. Like, she can be like, let her be liberated, let her be empowered, let her be powerful, let her have fun, let her be sexy, let her be this, like that's also part of why we're watching the show. So that's all I would say. I think I understand where everybody's coming from, like all sides. Some people are like, no, Claudia would talk like that. She's literally from like the early 20th century. Some people were like, no, she wouldn't. Um, But yeah, I get it. That's all I would say to the writers. But yes, I'm excited. I can't wait to watch it. I don't know if we have a release date yet. I think it's probably going to be hopefully sometime in 2027. And let me know what you guys think. So please comment below. And I would love to have like actual people on the show. So if you're interested in talking about the show more, if you're a fan, if you came to one of the watch parties, feel free to email, comment, and I would love to get you on the show. Kennedy Ryan just launched a TV deal, or she just made a TV deal with Universal Television and also UCP. And so, under the deal, Variety Mag covered it. Basically, she is going to create original IP for the production company. You can tell my like limited legal knowledge about the film industry, but she's going to create a series of TV shows, and yeah, like I'm excited to watch the shows because if you know me in real life, I'm always going on rants about how we just need more TV shows with women of color. So I'm very excited to watch these shows. I think the first shows are going to be based on her first few books, which are Before I Let Go and This Could Be Us. Um, and then she also has her own like media banner, which she calls Scribe Chick Media. So that'll be cool. I love seeing like Black women kind of take control of their own like media production, kind of like Issa Rae with Hooray. I would be interested to see if she's going to go the route of vertical dramas because I feel like her stories kind of lend themselves to that, like just these very like specific tropes. Um, like, for example, the last book, like, I don't know if you're ever scrolling on TikTok and you see like the crazy, like, real shorts or like the crazy, weird romance vertical dramas. Like, I think like, okay, for example, like if you're scrolling and you see, what is it? My Billionaire Boss and oh my gosh, like I'm about to get fired, but I have to be with this man or something. Just keep my job or so. Yeah, okay. But they keep it like very romance focused. But I think they kind of teeter on the edge of like, what am I watching right now? But yeah, vertical dramas are all the rage. Like this company called Real Shorts is like actually like taking over. Like I'm gonna search up the actual revenue, but it's crazy. And all of my friends like in who are actors feel like they have to kind of dip into the space because of just how popular it's getting. And even Issa Rae's screen time, I think it definitely got over like 50 million views, maybe close to like 100 million views on TikTok. And also like if you go onto Hooray Media's LinkedIn page, um they're talking about how like it's the perfect example of the opportunity for advertisers to dip into vertical dramas. So this is definitely a thing that we're seeing like in entertainment over time. I feel like I'm in support of it, but I'm also just cognizant of the fact that it's hard to distill like a complex or a story. It's hard to create characters with depth and then convey them if you only have like 10 seconds to hook your audience, maybe not even 10 seconds. So I think that's why right now we're seeing they start off in the most like, I don't know, intense way or like sometimes the most like sexual way. And then you keep watching, but then the story is actually not that sexual. Like, I don't know. And I also think that we need to have like TV ratings, I think, even for social media for these vertical dramas, because I was thinking like, if you're a teenager and you're watching some of these, like, I don't know what messages they're actually, like, telling you, especially because the theme a lot of times um, is like a man in an authority figure, in an authority position, and it's like it'll be like my billionaire boss example or, like, head of the mafia, and I'm, like, his assistant or something. Or what's another one? The wolf stuff is, like, really coming back. Like, no honestly, if that is your thing, no problem, no problem. But I do wonder why it's, like, all over I don't know why it's, like, coming back. But also, am I just, like, exposing myself? Is it just me? Like, this whole time I'm thinking, "Oh my god, this is all over the world," and, like, my feed has just identified something within me. But, um I don't know. Like, let me know what you think. I would love to do like a deeper exploration into this because I think it's okay that entertainment is changing, like the industry changes, innovation is good, but media at the same time does impact people, especially if you're young. And it's important that we put out content that I think benefits and helps young people to process the world and build identity and have positive relationships with themselves and others. So, that's the only thing I would, you know, encourage. I would encourage Kennedy Ryan to do in her new TV deal, like, and I would encourage, the writers of Queen of the Damned when that comes out, because you do have a lot of young Black girls watching these things and reading this content. And I think I'm also coming from like a personal place. Like maybe I'm using this podcast to um to process my own stuff because I feel like when I was a teenager and, like, even younger than that, like, a lot of the I just really felt the power of media at that time, like, I grew up in a very, like, white neighborhood, like, I'm from Maryland, Bethesda, Maryland, DMV, baby, like, yeah, I grew up there, and it was a wonderful childhood. Like, I think that I'm very blessed to grow up in, like, a suburb and just, like, a very stable, environment like that, but the challenge was obviously, like, I was a minority there, and, um, yeah, all of my friends didn't look like me, and I felt like the odd one out, and so I really gravitated towards escapism, like, in TV, and for a while that worked. Like, I remember when I was, like, a kid, like, I loved Disney Channel, obviously, like, Camp Rock was my favorite, and Aquamarine, The Mermaid Show, H2O, and then over time, I started noticing, like, oh my god, in TV shows too, like, they also don't look like me. So, just feeling like, "Oh my god, how come I'm the only girl that I know with my skin tone or like who's curvy, like, with curves and stuff and like my hair. And what would save me is literally just going back to South Africa and like remembering, the country that I'm actually from. And like, my parents just being like, you're from a whole place where people look like you, like, don't be silly. But I don't know. When I was in Maryland, it felt that deep, And I remember watching shows that were like maybe they would have like the prettiest girl in school looked a certain way and I didn't look like her, and that was really damaging. Like it really it really it really hurt my self-esteem, honestly. And the thing that I think brought me back to life was seeing more TV shows with Black girls, and, like, I started watching Issa Rae, honestly, her YouTube, and she had this wonderful series called First, which is basically where, it was, like, first date and first phone call, this, like, Black couple, they're, like, experiencing all the wholesome firsts together, and I think that's really wonderful, and yeah, I think I just want more of that, especially I can't imagine what it's like being 14 in this environment, in, like, a similar environment, and you have social media, like, ramped up even more, so I think with all this, like, vertical drama stuff, I'm, like, really thinking about, like, the 14-year-old at home who's, like, trying to process, like, what is dating like, and what is sex like, and what is that like for me as a Black girl, because in this landscape, it's like you're dealing with the lack of representation in media, and then there's also, like, porn and, like, fan fiction and smut and all of that, which is also riddled with the same isms and even more, I don't know, over sexualization of certain groups. And okay, this is a fun podcast. I don't wanna get too, like, emotional and like on my pulpit, but I'm just saying, like, for all the amazing authors and writers and everyone out there, like, please think of the teenagers who are trying to figure out their lives and who they are. Think of them, and let's just like help young people feel good and not feel like, like, what is going on? Okay. In another episode, I will like say all of that in the most beautiful, intelligent way, but you guys get my point right now. Okay, moving on. Next up, we're gonna talk The Odyssey. So The Odyssey is killing it in the box office. On Friday, they had 26 million, and they're on track to beat Christopher Nolan's Best with 84.5 million. This is according to the Hollywood Reporter, so thank you. And yeah, so they're killing it in the box office. I had the chance to see it this weekend, and guys, I loved it. It was fire, and I didn't even see it in 4DX, which I kind of regret because like I kept seeing all this stuff about it, but then my friend Shayna and I, we just wanted to go see it like at our convenience. So we saw it in Queens in a regular theater, but it was still really good. It was good. It is a long movie, but you kind of forget. I like that this time they just did American accents. Like maybe I'm a simpleton, but I did like that. I did actually like that. I'm sorry. And basically like the Odyssey is based on Homer's epic, which if you are not familiar, if you weren't forced to study it in school, this whole thing just took me back to Cliff Notes and like essays we had to write. But basically, it's based on Odysseus. He has to go back home to Ithaca after fighting the Trojan War. Honestly, I liked it because it was a fun way to reminisce on all the stuff we learned about Greek mythology in school. So they had obviously like Cyclops and like Circe, and okay, I won't spoil it, but if you know the story, then you kind of know. But it was dope because of all the like star-studded cast, whatever. And I think my top faves were probably Robert Pattinson. His performance was really good. He's also funny AF. Like, if you haven't been seeing that whole meme, like, get these beggars out of here. Like, I low key like that. I also think that he kind of does well in like slightly creepier roles. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, um, if you saw the drama, like, he wasn't a creep in that movie, but he was just like a weird dude. Like he just ended up doing like slightly weird things by the end of that. So I think that role, like slightly unhinged, slightly messy characters actually suit him. Um, what else? I also really liked Lupita, of course. She just looked gorgeous. She also played two characters, which was a fun little twist. Um, and yeah, I can't decide if I'm gonna spoil this movie for you guys or if I'm not gonna spoil this movie. Okay, maybe if you haven't seen this movie, you should skip this part of the podcast. But I'm not even gonna talk about it that long. But yeah, Lupita's performance was amazing. Obviously, I just love her. Anne Hathaway, I thought she did a good job. I really liked her character, her performance. Matt Damon was a choice. I like let me know what you guys think. I don't know if it's just me. I just feel like when I thought about Odysseus, I didn't think about Matt Damon. Like they just don't really go. Like I was surprised by that. Also because I went in kind of with not a lot of context. So like in the beginning of the film, they like do a lot of build up. Like you don't see Odysseus in like the first scene, for example. So I didn't know who was gonna play him. And then it was like Matt Damon, and I don't know what I have against Matt Damon. Maybe did he like do something? No. Like I don't know who I wanted it to be. Honestly, maybe I just have a thing for Matthew McConaughey. Maybe it should have been him. Okay, don't come for me in the comments. I know that's the wrong answer. But let me know who you guys think should have played Odysseus. Did you like Matt Damon? Was it him? He did a good job though. Like obviously he carried the film. I thought Elliot Page, I really loved seeing him in it. I thought he looked good also. Give me a call, Elliot. But I thought he looked good. I thought he did a good job. I also thought Odysseus's army men did a good job. This is just me ranking actors. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think about the cast and like what your favorite part of the movie was. But I really liked that they kept it like action packed. They distilled the story down. Ultimately, it's like this guy's trying to get home and he gets to fight a bunch of cool like monsters. And maybe this is a very like beautifully written story, but maybe my attention span is also short now because for some reason I was just like happy to see the action. Like I didn't really care. I was just happy to see the action. I thought it was fun. Like that's really what I enjoyed. And yeah, if you guys have seen the story, let me know what you think. And yeah. So, in some more interesting news, David Johnson has just been cast as the new Black Panther. He will be playing T'Challa's son in Black Panther 3, which is slated to come out December 15th, 2028. I love David Johnson. Okay, I've only seen him in industry, but I'm excited for him. He seems like a nice person. I don't know. His performance in industry was really good. I did not know that they were gonna do a Black Panther 3. I also feel like we were very quick to change Black Panthers. And I also thought the whole T'Challa's son, they were getting us ready for like something to come out 10 years from now. Yeah, I thought this was gonna happen like a lot further in the future. That's okay. Like I'll never be mad about a Black Panther 3, so I'm happy about it. I'm wondering how they're gonna if they're gonna have Lupita come back because Nakia is gonna be David Johnson's mom. So will they just age her up next year? Yeah, like we've all grown very accustomed to the type of CGI that they use and like all the effects. And so I definitely want them to somehow bring something new to Black Panther 3. This is obviously a story that meant so much to us. Like I remember 2016. Was it 2016? Maybe 2017 when it came out. And just like even dressing up, you would dress up to go see it. Like I think I saw it like 3 or 4 times. So I want them to preserve that like I don't know, that special what makes Black Panther special. I don't want it to just be another like Marvel thing that they're pushing out. No hate to Marvel, but we need something new. I mean, I'm kind of sad it's not Damson Idris, but I'm also not sad. Damson Idris is hot. Like I'm not gonna lie, but he also looks a little scary. Like I feel like if I met Damson Idris in real life, would he be nice? Would he curve me? No, I'm not manifesting that. No, hell no. He would not curve me. He'd be in love and he would ask me out. And anyways, that's besides the point. When the trailer comes out, I'm gonna watch it immediately. I'm excited to see it. If you have any open roles, I'm here. Happy to be one of the warriors. And then also, excitingly, this is the 10-year anniversary of Moonlight by Barry Jenkins. So this is another film that absolutely changed my life in 2016. 2016 was a good year for movies, actually. But yeah, Moonlight, if you haven't seen it, it's this beautiful film about a teenage boy living in Miami, figuring out his queerness at the same time he's going through a lot with his family. Just him over the years figuring out his identity. And yeah, it's beautiful. It was written by Barry Jenkins, who's also the director and I think screenwriter of If Beale Street Could Talk. He also was a part of the Lion King, the live action with Beyonce. Or did she just do the soundtrack? But yeah, anyways, he's an amazing director. And they won the Oscar for best film, best screenplay. Okay, I'm gonna come next time with my facts ready, guys. But they did win Best Picture in 2016. And we will not discuss what happened on that stage, guys. We will not discuss what was it? Was it La La Land who maybe they won? They like announced the wrong movie and then the people for La La Land went on stage and then they were like, no, guys, we made a mistake. We made a mistake. It was Moonlight. And yeah, so no comment on that. But if you remember the La La Land versus Moonlight debacle of 2016, like that is like I remember that. So yeah, I was obviously Team Moonlight, and I can't believe it's been 10 years. So in honor of the 10-year reunion, in honor of the 10-year anniversary, I'm actually having another watch party, this time for Moonlight. Go to my IG page at Backspace NYC to learn more about that. But yeah, like it's still one of my favorite movies to date. Basically, for the reasons I've been saying this entire hour, like representation, everything, but also it was just a beautiful film. Like it introduced me to cinematography, I guess, as a whole. And I think because of Moonlight, I ended up watching In the Mood for Love, which is another just cinematography masterpiece. And yeah, I'm still kind of getting into my like film buff era, but Moonlight was definitely the catalyst for that. And for that, I am just obviously a fan and grateful. And yeah, I still think to this day they should have had Frank Ocean be the person who soundtracked that film. Like, I think Frank Ocean ended up like releasing the rights to Blonde, like that album for another A24 movie, Waves. But then I always thought Blonde would have been the perfect soundtrack to Moonlight for like many reasons. And then also, one of my claims to fame is literally I discovered that the Moonlight trailer goes perfectly with the outro to White Ferrari. I will show you guys, but it syncs up perfectly. So if you guys ever, I don't know what to do with that. This is the only platform in which I can share this, but yeah, useless fun fact. It goes perfectly. So they should have soundtracked it, but that's okay. We're going to watch the movie together at Backspace, August 23rd. Go to Instagram to learn more. And yeah, okay, guys, so that is it for episode 1 of Backspace. Thank you so much for watching. This is honestly a dream. I've always wanted to do something like this, so thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Please, I would love to hear your opinions about any of the shows, any of the movies we talked about, of the books too. And yeah, check me out at Backspace NYC. I'm going to be back with another one of these. And yeah, thank you for watching.